next.
A boyfriend and girlfriend accused of breaking into a home, stealing more than a dozen guns, only to be caught by a dog.
A daycare provider under arrest. Did she shake a 5-month-old baby?
Record heat again today, and there's more on the way, at least until these storms come through. I'll have the forecast.
A bus hijacked by a gunman comes to a crashing halt as police close in. Buying a house? Now home inspectors need to follow new rules. Find out if pizza can fight cancer. And hear from tonight's boot camp loser. This is Fox 25 News at 10.
2 people are under arrest tonight after a burglary and police chase through 3 towns. Good evening, everyone. I'm Tori Ryden.
And I'm Steve Abison. The events began in Danvers, but police made the arrests in North Andover. And that is where David Wade is standing by to sort out the details. David.
Yeah, and Steve, there's quite a few details in this one. What we're talking about is a young couple, a boyfriend and girlfriend locked up tonight, charged with stealing more than a dozen guns from a retired police officer. And that is just one aspect in what has become a bizarre story that also includes a boulder being thrown, a police chase, and a dog bite. But we're going to start right at the very top. This is where it all starts, in Danvers, the home of a retired Peabody police officer. Cops say Julio Cruz and his girlfriend, Tina Ward, broke into the home and stole a camera, an address book, and oh yeah, enough weapons for a small war. 13 guns, including a high-powered assault rifle. Also, boxes of bullets. While they were in the house, a neighbor noticed their car outside.
When the neighbor approached them, one subject involved threw a large boulder at her.
Police say the boyfriend-girlfriend bandits then sped up Route 114, Middleton police giving chase. The North Andover police then spotted the car. A gun case was hanging out of the closed trunk. Police say Cruz and Ward then pulled over on Great Pond Road.
Male subject in the vehicle took off on foot. Female subject who was holding a weapon was taken at gunpoint.
Police say Cruz ran and then jumped in a small creek and submerged himself underwater. No need for scuba gear. Andover police then sent over Blaze, a police dog. Blaze's handler says Blaze just dove in and found Cruz, biting him on the arm.
He got him out of the water, he grabbed him by the arm and basically pulled him up out of the water.
And there is one more twist to the story tonight. All night, investigators have been coming out to the North Andover Police Department. They're trying to figure out if this is part of a much bigger burglary ring. You see, Cruz and Tina Ward were found not only with the guns, but also with some stolen jewelry, police say, and they're trying to figure out where that stolen jewelry came from because it didn't come from the retired police officer's home. Cruz and Ward will both be in court tomorrow morning. Live in North Andover tonight, I'm David Wade, Fox 25 News.
All right, David, buses are being called in after more than 100 people were evacuated from a Boston subway station. Things began unfolding about an hour ago at the Maverick Square stop in East Boston. A T spokesman tells Fox 25 that a train between the Maverick and Airport stops hit some wires in the tunnel. Heavy smoke began to fill the station. That stop remains closed at this hour.
A Revere man is behind bars tonight, charged with murdering his brother in East Boston. William Lydon was in court following his arrest this morning. He pleaded not guilty to murder in the death of his brother, John Lydon. His headless body was found in his apartment on March 19th. William Lydon is being held on $100,000 cash bail and will be back in court later this month.
Prosecutors have filed new evidence regarding the murder of Dartmouth professors Haff and Suzanne Zantop. They claim police found one of the suspects' fingerprints on a chair inside the victim's New Hampshire home. Police also found a footprint that matches a boot owned by 16-year-old suspect James Parker. Both Parker and 17-year-old Robert Tulloch are charged in those deaths.
A 12-year-old Boston girl is one of 2 people recovering from gunshot wounds tonight. The other victim is a 19-year-old man. Witnesses say a man with a bandana over his face rode up on a mountain bike and started shooting on Blue Hill Avenue. Both victims are expected to live, and police are still looking for the shooter.
A jury convicted a 64-year-old woman of murder today. Police arrested Margaret Rudin in Revere in 1999. She was hiding out after running from Las Vegas police for 2 years. Rudin shot her millionaire husband in the head. She was arrested after she was profiled on Fox's America's Most Wanted. She faces sentencing next month. Rudin could spend the rest of her life in prison. The search is on tonight for a college student from Massachusetts missing since last week. Max Kolb's family is troubled, and no one can understand why he vanished. Fox 25's Bob Ward joins us now with the story. Bob?
Well, Steve, Max Kolb is a sophomore at Hofstra University where he's taking TV and film classes. He has a very high grade point average, and his family here in Massachusetts tells us that Max seemed very happy. No one knows what happened to Max. He's been missing for a week now, and tonight Max's family is issuing a heartfelt appeal for help.
Max, your whole family loves you, and your friends love you, and we just want to see you come home and see that you're safe and sound.
Thomas Kolb can't imagine what happened to his son Max. Max disappeared last week from Long Island's Hofstra University. The sophomore lives in a 10th floor single dorm room apartment. Richard Gomez lives in the same dorm and may have been the last person to see Max.
He was quieter, but he was funny. He was a funny guy. We hung out a couple of times. He was a good man. He's a good guy. And I don't know why he would just not be around anymore.
As Nassau County Police search for Max, word is out that Max's car, his dining card, and his dorm pass have not been used since April 24th.
We take this very seriously, and we're worried about him.
There are 4,000 students on the Hofstra University campus. So far, no one has come up with any reason why Max is missing.
And we're very concerned because he's never been known to miss any classes. He has a 3.6 grade point average, and his parents were coming down this weekend to visit him.
Tom Kolb is back in Massachusetts. All he can do now is wait.
Max, if there's some reason you feel you can't come home, we'd just like you to call and let us know that you're okay.
Well, if you have any information on the whereabouts of Max Kolb, please contact the Nassau County, New York Missing Persons Bureau. That number, 516-463-6113. Tori?
All right, Bob. A Scituate man died in a sailing accident off of Cape Cod today. The Coast Guard found his capsized boat near Provincetown. 29-year-old Sven Shang was unconscious and floating near his capsized catamaran. A helicopter flew Shang to Hyannis. Doctors at Cape Cod Hospital pronounced him dead.
Quincy police are trying to figure out who stole a stained glass window from the Thomas Crane Public Library. Investigators don't know how long it's been missing. They believe it may have gone unnoticed because of an ongoing restoration work at the building. The stained glass picture depicts the old philosopher and had been on display since 1883. The window is worth between $100,000 and $200,000.
An M.I.T. fraternity is making a public apology after a booze-related racial incident last week. It happened Friday night when Alpha Tau Omega brought the hip-hop band The Roots to the frat to perform. School officials say fraternity members who had been drinking made racial comments to a female singer before the concert. A fight broke out between some band members and frat brothers. No one was hurt, but the fraternity president says the frat is looking into expelling fraternity members involved in the case.
A former associate of James Whitey Bulger is expected to plead guilty to murder charges in Oklahoma tomorrow. In exchange for a 15-year prison sentence, prosecutors say John Materano will admit he killed a Tulsa businessman 20 years ago. Bulger and Stephen the Rifleman Fleming are also charged with the murder.
We have an update now to a story we first told you about last night on Fox 25 News at 10. Boston police are investigating a series of break-ins and whether they are connected to at least one rape in the area. Officers released this sketch of a man who broke into 6 Hyde Park homes while people were inside. Fox 25 News discovered it is the same sketch of a man wanted for rape last year. Boston police won't say much, but concede it could be the same man.
That a suspect wanted for a sexual assault committed in August of 2000 could be involved in the recent home invasion.
Boston police are warning people in the area to secure their windows and doors.
Rockland police arrested a woman in a shaken baby case. She made her first appearance in court this afternoon. Fox 25's Debbie Rodman joins us from outside the Hingham courtroom with more details. Deb?
Steve, a 5-month-old from Abington is hospitalized in fair condition tonight. The victim, doctors say, of shaken baby syndrome. Tonight, his daycare provider is charged with assault.
5-month-old Dylan Salmon suffered severe brain damage, and investigators say it was at the hands of Marianne Constantino. Dylan's mother trusted Constantino to look after the infant. But last week, Dylan was left struggling to survive in Constantino's home-based daycare in Rockland. Prosecutors say Constantino gave a bunch of excuses to explain why Dylan was in such bad shape.
One of her children fell off of the couch and landed on the victim's chest. Her daughter dropped the victim on the carpeted basement floor. That one of the other children at the daycare slipped off the couch and landed on the victim, causing the victim to breathe erratically.
But none of the stories matched the baby's injuries, and prosecutors say eventually Constantino confessed to repeatedly shaking the infant.
And she shook him in an attempt to get a response from him. Ms. Constantino admitted to shaking the victim at least 3 times.
Police emergency? I have a little baby here, and I just don't like the sound he's making. He's kind of scaring me.
Constantino dialed 911, apparently fearful of Dylan's condition. But listen, she seems calm and collected.
Was he breathing okay?
Well, he has he breathes in kind of deeply. Anyway, he seems like he's breathing, but
How old is he?
He's 5 months.
The child suffered from massive cell death to the brain.
Dylan's mother looked disgusted as prosecutors detailed the trauma to her son's head. Constantino's father left the courtroom visibly distraught, and Dylan's mom went home with only one request.
Just pray for my son, that's all.
And tonight, Marianne Constantino is out on personal bail. She is not allowed to care for any children except for her own. Her daycare license has been suspended. Reporting live in Hingham tonight, Debbie Rodman, Fox 25 News.
Robert Kennedy Jr. is out of the hospital after being treated for an irregular heartbeat last night. Seattle doctors diagnosed Kennedy with atrial fibrillation. His heartbeat was restored to normal and he was released in good condition. Kennedy was in Seattle to make a speech on the environment.
Boston City Councilor Peggy Davis-Mullen is continuing her campaign to become the next mayor of Boston. Recent newspaper articles questioned the way Davis-Mullen filled out tax returns and applied to the Massachusetts Bar Association. Because of these scandals, many believe she was going to drop out of the race. Davis-Mullen held a news conference today to repeat her challenge to Mayor Menino to debate the issues.
Acting Governor Jane Swift is blasting the Massachusetts House of Representatives for not funding the voter-approved clean elections law. The House did not include the promised $10 million for clean elections in next year's budget. The law permits candidates to receive taxpayer money to run their campaigns if they agree to limit fundraising and campaign spending.
67% of the voters read that question, and they voted to implement a system that they believed was the best way to conduct elections in Massachusetts. We should, and the legislature should, abide by the decision that the voters made.
Next year's election would have been the first in which candidates could participate in the clean elections law.
Another sad day for students in Newton as they said final goodbyes to the 8th grader who died in the crash in Canada. Family and friends gathered to bury 14-year-old Melissa Leung, a flute player. Friends remember Melissa for bringing excitement to wherever she was. Her classmates Gregory Chan, Kayla Rosenberg, and Stephen Glidden were all buried earlier this week. The Oak Hill Middle School is planning a memorial service tomorrow at noon. And the head of the nation's largest bus company association says schools are risking safety to save money when they take overnight bus trips like the Newton Group. United Motor Coach Association CEO Victor Pera told the Boston Globe that he tells anyone booking school trips to schedule overnight rest stops to avoid driver fatigue. In the meantime, Canadian police are continuing their investigation into what caused last week's crash.
2 weeks before the execution of Timothy McVeigh, almost everyone has an opinion about the death penalty, but few Americans have ever witnessed an execution. But tonight, you are about to hear the final moments of a prisoner's life. Audio tapes made public for the first time of dozens of executions. The tapes were uncovered by someone fighting to end capital punishment.
At this time, the condemned has been secured in the chair. He is not moving. He's just sitting there very passively staring out at the witnesses.
From 1983 to 98, 23 convicted killers were put to death in the Georgia electric chair, and each time, for the sake of history, a tape recorder was rolling.
This is a recording of the execution of Ivan Ray Stanley, EF 103603.
71 tapes, including the final remarks from Van Solomon, born in 1943 and executed by the state in 1985.
Yes, I like to say I like to give my blessing to all the people that seek to save my life. I like to curse everyone that seek to take my life. Farewell.
The tapes were broadcast today for the first time on National Public Radio. Originally recorded by prison staff, producer David Isay found their remarks compelling.
The people who are doing these executions are clearly just ordinary people, and they speak very dispassionately. I mean, it sounds kind of like a NASA space launch when they're doing this. Even when the execution is botched, there's nothing. There's not a glitch. It's just routine, 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 and it's bizarre, and it's hard to listen to.
Didn't give us any problem, didn't say anything, you know. We come on out and sit down, and but he's awfully nervous.
The tapes are now a matter of public record, including the final words of Roosevelt Green Jr., convicted of murdering an 18-year-old clerk.
I love the Lord, and I hope that you all love him too, and that God takes me in his kingdom. And goodbye, Mother.
36 states currently administer the death penalty, although Georgia is one of 11 states currently enforcing a moratorium, while courts there consider whether capital punishment is constitutional.
One person is dead after a wild police chase on the streets of Los Angeles involving a bus. Check out this video. Police say a man hijacked the city bus while it was at a stop and then sped off in it with passengers still inside. The bus careened down the street for a dozen blocks. Watch as the bus broadsides a minivan right there, pushing it into a UPS truck. Well, the bus wound up veering into the sidewalk and crashing into some cars in a parking lot. The hijacker ran off but was arrested a short time later. A woman driving the minivan was killed.
It is a frightening disease. The so-called mad cow disease has been taking lives and spreading fear in Europe. But Fox 25 has learned a form of it, maybe right here in the United States. Fox 25's Maria Stefanos is here with the story. Maria.
Steve, no one is questioning whether or not mad cow is a deadly disease, but there are questions out there. Has mad cow or a form of it hit the States? Tonight, you'll hear from some families who say a form of mad cow is here, and it killed the people they love.
She started acting a little irrational.
She felt fuzzy. She kept saying she felt fuzzy in her head. Not right.
I knew her for 50 years. Yeah, I was married 40 years, but almost 40 years, but I knew her 11 years before I got married. It's very tough. I don't know what to do with myself.
John Sands and his family are devastated. His wife, Myrna, died from a strange disease last January.
I feel this is a very big problem, and I think we'll become more aware of it, unfortunately, at the cost of a lot more lives.
The Sands think the horrible disease that killed Myrna came from eating bad meat, a disease that's eerily similar to the mad cow disease devastating Europe.
Everybody denies the fact that it's in this country, and it goddamn is.
When humans get mad cow disease, it's called variant CJD, and the CJD stands for Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. This is uniformly fatal, and there is no treatment.
So far, the human version of mad cow, called variant CJD, has caused the deaths of about 90 people in Europe. Government experts in this country stress we have nothing to worry about here. There aren't any documented cases. However, John and his family aren't convinced. They say the disease that killed Myrna is strangely similar to mad cow. The disease that killed her is called sporadic CJD. Now, both poke holes in your brain and create a sponge-like surface. So what's the difference between these two strains of the disease?
Both attack the brain. They both will often cause spongiform damage, but they're doing it sometimes in different areas of the brain. The patterns look different.
He was complaining of a weird feeling in his head.
Eileen Mustica watched her husband John go from healthy and strong to sick and frail in just a few weeks.
Every day he was getting worse and worse. He was forget, or he couldn't hold a cup of coffee, just drop it out of his hand and fall on the floor.
Doctors diagnosed him with an inner ear infection, then multiple sclerosis, even cancer.
He knew that something was wrong, that these doctors weren't going to be able to figure it out, because it was just how strange it was, you know, and how fast it was progressing.
He died just 7 months after his first symptom.
My daughter got married October 8th, and he sort of walked her down the aisle, but she sort of walked him. That's how bad he was getting.
Both John Mustica and Myrna Sands died from sporadic CJD. Dr. Sean Kenneth, a neurologist, says he's treated several patients with this killer disease and found 11 cases in just one hospital.
One by one, you lose nerve cell on top of nerve cell on top of nerve cell, and they are replaced with holes. and it literally turns your brain into a sponge.
So did their loved ones contract the disease from eating meat?
With the sporadic CJD, they don't know where it comes from.
Dr. Michael Hansen, a biological scientist and an expert on mad cow, says that's why it's so frightening. At least in Europe, people know the human form of mad cow comes from eating contaminated beef. But here, experts aren't sure what causes the disease that killed both Myrna and John. So Dr. Hansen feels the government should be doing more study on what causes sporadic CJD. Plus, he says more needs to be done to protect the public from mad cow. However, the USDA says scientific research shows it isn't necessary to conduct the same level of testing that exists in Europe. The department says, quote, it's constantly evaluating its methods for safeguarding American agriculture to prevent the introduction of foreign diseases and pests.
The beef here is incredibly safe.
The National Cattlemen's Beef Association says they stand by the current testing.
Our surveillance program is excellent. It exceeds international standards.
The situation is far more problematical than the government lets on.
And that's why Eileen Mustica wants more done. But whatever caused her husband's disease, she knows one thing is for sure.
He's missing his grandchildren. That he always wished that he would see the day that my children got married and our children got married and have grandchildren, because he just loved children. He never got to see this day.
And John Sands and his family are still looking for answers.
It tore us apart. She was the backbone of this family. And all of us feel devastated.
It's still not clear where sporadic CJD is coming from. The doctors we talked to say it could come from meat. The U.S. government says no way, and the facts may be on their side. Right now, there are no documented cases of mad cow in this country. I'm Maria Stefanos, Fox 25 News.
From tea on wood furniture to Coke in your toilet, easy ways to clean your home without harsh chemicals.
Hi, I'm Namwad Laney. It's a 2-hour high-rolling, big screaming thrill fest. We'll take you whitewater rafting coming up.
Plus, find out if eating pizza can protect you from cancer.
And buying a new home? Now home inspectors need to follow new rules.
Record-breaking temperatures, hot and steamy weather, but a big change and big storms coming for the weekend. I'll have the forecast.
I like to ride motorcycles.
I'm the executive chef. Whatever it is you have an interest in, DirecTV gives you a lot of options.
Great programming for everybody.
Pay-per-view events.
Disney Channel, Animal Planet, love stories.
Over 225 channels.
We watch whatever he wants to watch.
Please. Digital picture.
The sound quality is great.
DirecTV has a lot of cooking channels.
The show about motorcycling, we have to watch it. Walmart is the place to buy DirecTV.
The prices are good.
They're low all the time. I'm looking at how I can get a dish outfitted on my bike.
I'm going to tell you all about my family. Well, there's my mom. She's the bravest person that I know. I like my sister when she's nice. My mom says she has 2 kids, but she really has 3, counting my dad.
No one knows your family like you, and no one knows how to give them lasting memories like SeaWorld Orlando.
And me, I'm nice and good every day.
For family fun at a great price, call today for a complete SeaWorld package.
It's okay. She'll be back in 3,000 miles.
Don't touch me. Cars. We know them. We love them. Cars. We know them. We love them.
Get tender, loving care for your car at any Valvoline instant oil change location. Call 1-800-FAST-CHANGE for the location nearest you. Cars. We know them. We love them.
We chose white because it was
clean
and simple.
I just wanted a splash of color.
Kind of kooky, with a lot of pizzazz.
Different strokes for different folks, all at one store.
Went to Home Depot. Now I'm painting.
I can help you do that. I can show you how. Okay. Gluten for my girls' room.
See, you can do it.
That's easy.
Yeah.
That's all bear right there.
I love Ralph Lauren. This looks good.
Thank you.
I'm so glad I went to Home Depot first. The Home Depot, first in home improvement.
You're watching Fox 25 News at 10.
British scientists are working on genetically modified tomatoes that might lead the fight against heart disease. The fruit is being engineered to contain 80% more of a chemical that is known to help reduce the clogging of arteries, fighting heart disease. It could also help fight cancer. The tomatoes will not be sold fresh, but would be used in processed foods such as ketchup and pizza sauce. It will be at least 5 years before the fruit is ready.
People who conduct home inspections are now under a closer watch. Today is the first day that home inspectors must be certified in order to inspect homes for sale in Massachusetts. Fox 25's Reed Lamberty has more.
They will last forever.
Are they well insulated?
Yes, they are.
Every nook and cranny.
As we get more into summer, these gaps will close back up.
Bart Coughlin is getting the real deal, and he should.
This is something that we usually see.
He might be buying this house and helping with his decision.
I start with the roof and I work my way down. Here is your electric service box.
Home inspector Chris Monahan. As of yesterday, he and every inspector is required to have a state license.
If you have a ladder and a flashlight, you can call yourself a home inspector.
The Bay State is one of the first to license home inspectors. The law is intended to make sure home buyers can hire a qualified inspector. That could save home buyers like Bart thousands of dollars.
It was very important to me because I don't really know much about construction.
That's where inspectors like Chris fit in.
These holes are made by carpenter bees.
In a written report, he provides information about the structural and mechanical integrity of the house.
It's really just to give them a heads up as to the true condition of the property.
And allows the home buyer to feel comfortable with the home buying experience.
It's an education process for the buyers.
And an education process for the inspectors, who now have to go through regular training classes to get certified. In Jamaica Plain, Reed Lamberty, Fox 25 News.
Home inspections are not intended to point out every small problem in a home. Minor flaws should be apparent to the buyer without the aid of a professional. But for more information about home inspectors and to find out if yours is certified, go to our website at fox25.com and link on for more information.
Coming up, your forecast and your daycare dollars bought her a new car. How the state let it happen. Next on Fox 25 News at 10.
Friday, Manny and the Sox are swinging for the fences against Oakland's awesome lineup. Red Sox and A's, Friday at 10 on Fox 25.
Summer in the city, back of my neck.
There's a bomb in a school.
Die hard with a vengeance.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Thursday at 8 on Fox 25.
It's one thing to watch movies. At Universal Studios Florida, you can feel them come alive.
Where are we? Look what's over there. Awesome. Run! Give it to me, hurry up. Benny, get it! Watch out! Hurry up, click it. What?
And now, enjoy no-lying, no-wait ride access at Universal Studios.
Our first lesson this morning will be the sit and stay command. And say sit, stay, sit, stay, sit,
This dog's in big trouble.
Buy online, return to the store.
No problem.
BestBuy.com. It wasn't that easy.
This spring, get ready to be blown away. Driven. Rated PG-13. Now playing.
I believe every woman's beautiful. Beauty is confidence. Beauty is feeling good about yourself. I'm Sonia Kashik. I've been doing makeup for magazines and runway shows for 15 years. Now this is my runway. Yes, I do celebrity weddings. I can't tell you whose. Great makeup is about 3 things: product, tools, and technique. It doesn't have to cost a lot. My favorite beauty tip, at least once a day, kiss someone you love. If I could go to every woman's house and do her makeup, I would. But not in these heels. Professional makeup at Target, it's a beautiful thing.
I smacked this guy, right?
Stop it!
Sanchez, there you go. Mr. Callahan. There you go. There you go. Come on, Billy, baby!
Thanks, Coach.
Dunkin' Donuts Coolata for those quiet summer days.
Stop by and try any of our refreshing fruit Coolata varieties, including our new Pina Coolata.
Tonight's Fox forecast is brought to you by Dunkin' Donuts.
You're watching Fox 25 News at 10.
Gorgeous day. It felt like Florida weather, actually. It was really hot. Felt like summer.
Yeah.
Nice,
did.
though.
Yeah.
Sun was out. That's good.
Yeah. What's it going to be like in the future? That's what we want to know. Kevin Lemanowitz gives us a scoop.
More hot weather, but does it continue into the weekend? That's the big question. You know, today, my co-meteorologist, Kim Martucci, gave me this little piece of paper because she said, I can't forget this weather school she went to today. So, here you are, the Osgood School in Medford. She says they made barometers. She says they were fourth graders. She says she had a great time. Sounds like just about every weather school we go to. A lot of fun. These children look all happy, so I guess Kim must have done a pretty good job there, out there in Medford. Okay, let me show you what's happening around the area today. First, the skyline. Blue sky, but some white fair weather clouds mixed in for good measure. Sunshine, though, was very effective. It got our high temperatures really cooking. Look at this. Record high temperatures all up and down the eastern seaboard, but here in New England, several of them. Portland, 90 degrees. Look at the old record. 70. Beat it by 20 degrees. That was back in 76. 91 Boston, 92 Blue Hills Observatory, 92 Providence, 93 Hartford, 90 New York, 87 in Worcester. Many of these falling in 1930, as you can see. Must have been a hot day back then. Even Montpelier, Vermont, 85 degrees today, breaking the record of 76 set in 1955. And there are a few more even further north off the map here in northern portions of Vermont. And there are the temperatures all around the area today. Saranac Lake all the way to 81, and that's usually a rather cool spot. The coolest spot, of course, the Cape and the Islands, only 77 there. That's still 10 to 15 degrees above normal for this time of year, but with the wind off the water, it's much cooler than Boston and interior Massachusetts. This is right now 81 degrees at Logan. 50 is the dew point, so it is marginally sticky. It's still pretty nice out there, but it's feeling a little more sticky than it has been. Winds are from the west and northwest and very light. That west-northwest direction is a warm air direction this time of year. Look at Worcester. You're still 73. Jaffrey's a little cooler at 61. Nantucket's the most comfortable spot to be right now at 52 degrees. Might even need a little light sweater for a temperature like that in Nantucket. There were some thunderstorms that popped up earlier this afternoon. Those are in upstate New York, but watch how they were dying away as they came toward Boston and Worcester today. If you had a sprinkle in southern New Hampshire, consider yourself lucky. Your flowers got a little sprinkling today. These thunderstorms are going to be the rule the rest of the week each afternoon, but especially later on this week. Not big doings here, but look off here to the Midwest and the Upper Plains states. All of these big thunderstorms are the ones that are going to try to move toward us and bring an end to our hot weather. When do they get here? When they do, there's the cool weather in Minneapolis, 61. That's the kind of air that's moving our way. There's the line of storms that's going to sink toward us. Not so much during the daytime hours tomorrow, although there may be a few renegade thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. This is really heading toward us by Friday afternoon. See these blobs of green up here? Watch how they sink toward us by 2 o'clock Friday afternoon. What those are signifying to me from our computer models is that there'll be thunderstorms in the area. So tomorrow, not so much. Friday, many more. Mostly clear tonight and warm, 52 on the Cape, 68 downtown in Boston. Then tomorrow, mostly sunny, more record heat temperatures in the 70s on the Cape and Islands. So look at the highs, 88 to 95 tomorrow. Then tomorrow night, mostly clear and mild, low temperatures in the 60s. And looking ahead to Friday, that's the day we get the big thunderstorms and temperatures a little bit cooler because of more clouds, 82 to 87 degrees. Here's the Fox 25 5-day forecast. Much cooler, but still above normal this upcoming weekend. It's just going to feel so chilly, though, after these 90-degree readings. 68 compared to 90. Boy, it's going to feel cool, isn't it?
It'll feel like a relief, I think, to a lot of
so.
people. All right, thanks a lot, Kevin. Daycare. For most working parents, it's a fact of life. But what do you really know about the person you trust to take care of your children?
Tonight, Fox Undercover exposes a daycare provider who is cheating you out of hundreds of thousands of dollars. Investigative reporter Mike Baudet shows us how kids in need may be paying the price.
Daycare is very expensive. Some families can't afford it, so each year the state spends almost $3 million helping them out. Anita Rashito is one of the people the state hired to provide daycare services. But while she was taking care of the kids, Fox Undercover found out she was also taking your tax dollars. Tonight we're exposing this daycare cheat. Their young lives have not been easy. Roger was just a year old when the state took him away from his mother. Little DeAndre's dad deserted him, and Stanley and Stephen are brothers whose parents struggle to pay the bills. These children are some of the neediest kids in the Commonwealth, and if that's not bad enough.
I have 4 daycare kids right now that are suffering because, I'm having problems buying the food that I need to buy for my food program.
So who would want to deprive these kids of something so basic as breakfast?
We'd just like to talk to you about the audit. What can you tell us about the money?
Meet Anita Rashito. She's the executive director of Professional Family Child Care Services based in Plymouth. The state hired Rashito to provide daycare services to low-income families in southeastern Massachusetts. It's her job to help needy kids. But according to this state audit, Rashito has been busy helping herself to your tax dollars.
How much taxpayer money has been wasted?
We question, as I said, over $344,000.
Glenn Briere is the spokesman for State Auditor Joe DiNucci.
The executive director was authorizing loans to herself and companies that she owned without getting prior state approval.
Loans totaling $104,000.
The executive director, members of her family, and staff were using vehicles that the taxpayers were in part paying for personal use.
A pretty nice perk and a $24,000 bill for taxpayers. And there's more. Rashito wants you to pick up the $1,800 tab to clean her house. And how'd you like to live in an apartment free of charge? This dream became a reality for Rashito's son, who lived here in Brockton in an apartment in the same building as one of Rashito's daycare centers. You paid the rent, more than $54,000.
How could this happen?
In the case of professional family child care services, of the 8 members of the board of directors, 5 were related to the executive director, either by directly or by marriage. That's very unusual, and that's a problem.
Did you hear that? Tommy exclaimed.
Sharon St. Pierre is a daycare provider who's got her own problems.
I can't buy anything extra that I need for the kids.
St. Pierre worked for Rashito for 4 years. And she says Rashito owes her almost $1,500 in back pay.
We're working 40, 50, 60 hours a week. And we have to pay our taxes. And where does our tax money go? Does somebody that's going to use it for their own benefit? It's not right.
I'm owed about $2,200 right now.
Cheryl Kuslok provided daycare services for Rashito's company for 15 years.
There are some days that I just really could strangle her for putting me in a situation that I'm in right now, because right now she is really hurting my credit rating.
Fox Undercover has learned this isn't the first time the state has looked into the way Rashito runs a business. Back in 1983, a state audit found that Rashito and her partner in another child care company charged more than $27,000 in questionable expenses to the state. Auditors said Rashito and her partner used taxpayer money to make low-interest loans to themselves, establish individual retirement accounts, and make a $3,000 down payment on a Jaguar. Rashito wasn't charged, but her partner was ordered to pay back some of the money.
I think because of her past, they should have kept a closer eye on her, and maybe it wouldn't have gotten this far.
So how was Rashito able to get away with this, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars in state money without anyone catching on? We came here to the Office of Child Care Services, the state agency that was supposed to be supervising Rashito, to find out what went wrong.
We had no documentation, nothing on paper that had anything to do with any prior audit or any mismanagement of funding. So she was awarded a contract based on her bid, which was competitive with the others that we did receive.
Should there be a better system of checks and balances in place so that you would have access to this information?
I think so.
Is it fair that kids have to pay the price because the state didn't do its job?
See, I wouldn't agree in saying that it was the state not doing its job correctly. We received a complaint, and we investigated it right away, and it was immediately referred to the auditor's office.
So why did it take a complaint to recognize all this waste?
I think that this was just one way for it to have been brought to our attention. I can still say very confidently that OCCS acted responsibly and we did all the right things.
The state finally terminated Rashito's contract, but she's still a licensed daycare provider.
She can't manage money responsibly. Should parents be trusting her with their kids?
That's why we're looking at her license right now. We want to make sure, our goal in this situation is to make sure that the children in the state are receiving the highest quality child care possible.
So what does Anita Rashito have to say about all this?
What can you tell us about the loans, the vehicles for you and your family, the apartment for your son?
All of it isn't true.
What
but
about
I really
the waste?
There was no waste. Don't even believe that for a second.
What do you say to parents? Why should they trust you if you're not honest about the money?
Why should they trust me? Parents trust me more than they trust their own neighbors. Because I did provide, and still provide quality child care. And I love children. Okay?
What about the audit then? Where's that coming from?
You go and you study the audit report. Thank you.
The Office of Child Care Services tells us it's making every effort to recover the money it's owed, and so is Cheryl Kuslok.
So I'm just going to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Kuslok took Rashido to small claims court in New Bedford. After meeting with the clerk magistrate, Rashido agreed to pay Kuslok $100 a month until she's paid in full. But Kuslok says she won't believe it until she sees it.
I am not convinced that this is going to be the end of it.
And while Kuslok and the other daycare providers wait, the kids suffer. Fox Undercover has learned the Attorney General's office is investigating Rashido and Professional Family Child Care Services. The Attorney General will decide whether Rashido will face criminal charges. Now here's what you can do if you want to check out your child's daycare provider. Call the Office of Child Care Services at 617-626-2000. They should be able to tell you if your child's daycare provider is licensed and if there are any complaints against them. I'm Mike Bodette for Fox Undercover.
Alka-Seltzer to clean jewelry. Worcestershire sauce on brass. Learn easy cleaning tips for your home.
M.I.T takes you on a wild whitewater rafting adventure that's just a drive away.
And the latest recruit bounced from boot camp is talking.
As you can see, Fox Undercover tackles the tough investigations. If you have an idea for our team, give us a call. We're on the job 24 hours a day.
Selection, quality, value. Find the perfect gift for Mother's Day at the jewelry store at Macy's. Diamond Mom Charm in 14-karat gold, $29.99 with any jewelry purchase. Cultured pearl strand to wear 4 ways in leather gift box, $199. Emerald and diamond box set, $199. Diamond ring, necklace, or earrings, your choice, $199. The jewelry store at Macy's, the name you can trust.
Put the food down, walk away, nobody gets hurt. Let's get him! I got him!
Think you're tough enough to drive a Tacoma?
Give me back!
Introducing the double cab with over 5 feet of bed length at your New England Toyota dealer, Crossroads of American Value.
Just can't mess with a man's salad. Word up.
Nothing you've ever seen can prepare you for what's coming.
My dad is going to kick your...
I did not think so. The Mummy returns. Rated PG-13. At theaters Friday.
Hey, Tommy, you want to go to Friendly's?
Ice cream cones are just 99 cents during the month of May at your Friendly's takeout window.
Your dad must be rich.
99-cent cones. Come and get them.
You and me and Friendly's.
Gardening's a challenge,
Especially
especially here.
Ever a challenge. I work and slave for this precious lady right
But
here.
isn't it a labor of love, darling?
We go to Walmart maybe 3, 4, 5 times a week. That's beautiful. I have my little gnomes. I enjoy that very much.
We got a table and chairs.
Barbecue grill, lawnmower.
All these came from Walmart.
All of them came from Walmart. And look.
A day or two ago, we had
no rotten tomatoes.
Today, we have 2. Walmart has excellent prices. If they weren't good, we couldn't have this many flowers.
Oh, we accomplished much today, didn't we?
Well, tonight we bring you the first of our 4-part adventure memoir series.
If you're looking for something fun, fast, or thrilling to do this summer, then you definitely want to tune in.
We got a bunch of ideas, starting with whitewater rafting. Now, here's your guide, Fox 25's Memoir Delaney.
Once upon a time, whitewater rafting was seen as somewhat extreme, enjoyed by the likes of slalomers and skydivers. Today, though, rafters range from thrill seekers to families, and both can get their kicks right here in Massachusetts. We visited the Millers River in western Mass, where May equals big whitewater. May on the Millers River, and the water is fast, furious, and freezing.
It's a roller coaster run by Mother Nature.
Thank you very much. That's why myself and a group of high school students are psyched to spend $70 apiece
Second.
For a day of early season whitewater rafting.
Worth braving the cold water to get the big white water.
Today's trip with crabapple whitewater is classed intermediate. That means you've got to be over 12, you've got to be ready to get wet, and you've got to be a bit of a thrill seeker. The temperature of the water in the river today is about 40 degrees. At some points, it's running at as much as 10 miles an hour. Falling in is not an option.
Super glue, one hand on the T-grip.
To make sure we don't swim with the fishes, Frank, our guide, takes us through some swift safety instruction.
If you are a Yankees fan, your rope goes one time around your neck.
Then it's push off.
Let's go all back,
Paddles in, and off for a 10-mile, 2-hour test of man against Mother Nature.
The thrill is kind of the unknown.
Okay, let her rest, let her rest.
You know, it's kind of like you don't ever know what's around the next corner.
We're told around the first few corners will be relatively calm water. A chance to practice procedures.
That is a shift to the right.
Build teamwork.
All ahead as a team now. Paddle together as a team.
And enjoy the stunning Charlemont scenery. This is the time for relaxation.
You've got no phones ringing. You've got no, computers, no communication with anybody.
Soon, though, the waters rise. And so do the levels of exhilaration.
Oh, forward now.
You know, the water splashing over you, and the guide's going to be yelling commands.
Dig in, Julio, dig.
And occasionally somebody will fall out of the raft, and that's very exciting, too.
As we hit the 8-foot Class 4 rapids of the Funnel, the river claims its first swimmer of the season.
It's like 20 feet deep in there. You couldn't hit her out.
I'm just wicked embarrassed.
Luckily, like most, the only thing Laura damages is her ego.
Last year, we rafted every day. We took upwards of 15,000 people down the river, and we had no injuries that required more than a Band-Aid.
In fact, at this time of year, the biggest hazard to your health is cold water.
Here we go, big one!
Synthetic socks and gloves will stop this from happening, so you can keep paddling and keep up with your teammates.
You may never see these people again, but for 2 hours or 3 hours on the river, you're dependent on each other.
While you may arrive knowing no one, individual rafters are welcome, you'll leave with a boatload of friends, brought together by the unique experience. I'm cold, I'm wet, but we took on Mother Nature and came out okay, so that feels pretty exhilarating. Hot chocolates on tap to take away the chills, so all you take away are your memories.
Today was definitely an experience.
I want to do it again.
Exciting and scary. It's guaranteed good fun. It can take anyone on the river, and no matter what kind of mood they're in when they get here, and no matter what kind of mindset they're in, I guarantee they'll go away with a smile on their face.
Crabapple Whitewater offers rafting in Maine and Vermont, as well as Massachusetts. Trips range from easy, where you pretty much float down the river, to difficult, where you'll spend the whole trip paddling a little heart out. The company provides the wetsuit, equipment, snacks, and lunch. You bring swimsuit and, if you like, synthetic gloves, top, and socks. Trips are $50 and upwards for adults. You can call 800-553-RAFT for more information. I'm Namwa Delaney, Fox 25 News.
Part 1, Part 2 on the way. Boston Magazine has released its 2001 list of the most powerful people in Boston. The list was unveiled at Radius on High Street tonight. The magazine calls Senator Edward Kennedy the most powerful politician. Congressman Joe Moakley is a close second. It names the most powerful men in finance, John Hancock CEO David Alessandro. And in sports, Red Sox CEO John Harrington tops the list. The complete list is in the current edition of Boston Magazine.
You may have seen it right here on Fox 25, the latest boot camp recruit to be kicked out of training. Real military drill sergeants put the contestants through an extremely grueling program. Someone gets booted off every week, and tonight it was recruit Dana Jackson from Milton. Here's what he had to say about the boot camp experience.
For you, it's television. For me, it was 24 hours a day. Every single day that I was there. You wake up in the morning and the drill instructors are in your face. You walk off of Dismissal Hill, there's no, okay, that's a wrap, everybody go get your coffee. It's, get back on the bus, right, get back on the truck right now. You know, and you're in formation and you go back to camp and you're doing more push-ups because someone coughed on Dismissal Hill.
It is down to the final 4 next week. The last one left in boot camp will walk away with $500,000.
Wonder who that'll be. Well, what would you say if someone told you that all the cleaning supplies you need are already inside your food cabinets?
All you need is a little imagination, and you can save a lot of money. Fox 25's Monica Morales shows us how to turn ordinary products at home into cleaning miracles and puts them to the test.
You dread it, but you have to do it. Clean your house. It's not an easy chore, but somebody has to do it. When you're in a pinch, there's some creative ways of getting the task done. You'll be surprised what we found. Most of you have these products tucked away in your kitchen cabinets and refrigerators.
When you see these things, you don't normally think of cleaning supplies.
Definitely not.
According to this book, Joey Green's Encyclopedia, these products have dozens of helpful uses around the house, ones you would least expect. And you can spend big bucks buying cleaning supplies at the market, but the question is, do you have to? Worcestershire sauce to polish your brass, Coke in your toilet. The book says it works. We decided to put it to the test. Stacy Gray led us into her home to test some of these tips to see if they really work.
Does this feel weird?
It does. Feel like I should be drinking it.
First, we started in the bathroom.
Okay.
Sounds ridiculous, but pouring Coke in your toilet cleans it.
Do you have your doubts?
A little bit, but hey, if it works, that's great.
It actually worked. Next, putting shaving cream on the bathroom mirror to prevent it from fogging up.
Oh, the shower's on. I guess we'll check it in 10 minutes and see if it's all fogged up. Well, it's really hot in here.
Now, it worked on the mirror, but didn't work on our camera's lens.
Also, dryer sheets can be used for deodorizing your closets. Even stinky garbage bins, and does wonders taking dust off your television screen.
He loves to color.
Especially on the floor.
Especially on the floor.
WD-40. Believe it or not, powerful at taking out those nasty crayon stains if you've got kids.
Looks pretty shiny.
Worcestershire sauce. Tasty stuff, but polish your brass? It worked for Stacy's lamps. Next, got a stomachache? Well, Alka-Seltzer comes to the rescue. It can also clean your jewelry.
He's constantly on this table. This is his...
There he is.
There he is.
Hot tea to clean furniture and wood. It loosens up the dirt without using harsh chemicals.
It says you can clean your cabinets with cool tea. You can see a little bit of more of a shine.
We found WD-40 has tons of uses, from making those medicine cabinet doors slide easier to taking away driveway stains. After a long day of housework and lots of testing, the bottom line, if you're in a bind with a little ingenuity, you've got options. Monica Morales, Fox 25 News.
I use motor oil on the kids' diapers.
No kidding. I've heard that. All right, hi, everybody. I'm Tom Zender. The Sox try to make it 2 in a row against the best team in baseball. And we'll tell you why yesterday was good, bad, and ugly for the Martinez family.
I'm Butch Stearns. The Raptors band together to try to knock off the Knicks. And usually it's just goalies wearing masks in hockey. Well, who is this guy? Or girl? Stick around and find out. Sports is next.
This Friday and Saturday, Ames is having a huge 2-day sale. Thousands of items are on sale throughout the store. Get 30% off all ladies' sportswear, 30% off all patio and indoor furniture, 40% off all curtains and rugs, and over 70% off all fine jewelry. Plus, get either Janet Jackson's All For You CD or Eaton's Crush Pop Star CD for only $9.88. And buy one 45-minute prepaid phone card for just $9.99 and get 2 more free. But hurry, this incredible sale is Friday and Saturday only. Stores open at 9 a.m. Ames, bargains by the bagful.
Here I am again in this mean old town, and you're so far away from me.
Seems like the world never stops coming up with ways to keep us apart. Now Massachusetts residents have just as many ways to stay close with Verizon Long Distance. It's long distance with simple, honest plans, with fair rates, with no hidden fees or surprises. Now that's long distance done right. Verizon.
This is Tommy. He's curious, creative, unfocused. He needs a little more help. But since our state ranks 46th in state funding for schools, and since the governor demands higher standards but budgets only 1/3 of the funds to do the job, Tommy will have to wait. That's why our teachers have submitted their own bill to give our kids what they need to succeed, like smaller classes. Join our teachers in standing up for our children. Tell your state lawmakers to vote for the teachers' bill.
The only minivan with the advanced personal safety system. Ford Windstar. It's a safe place to be. Now get $2,000 cash back or 0.9% financing for 60 months on Windstar at your New England Ford dealer.
Stop the carnage!
Cars. We know them. We love them.
Hey, Phil. Great party.
Thanks. Hors d'oeuvres?
Cars. We know them. We love them.
Get tender, loving care for your car at any Valvoline instant oil change location. Call 1-800-FAST-CHANGE for the location nearest you. Cars, we know them, we love them. Tonight's Sports is brought to you by Valvoline. Cars, we know them, we love them.
Greetings, everybody. I'm Tom Zenner.
And I'm Butch Stearns.
Let me see if I have this straight. Pedro pitches last night in front of some empty seats. Tonight, the city of Seattle treats Hideo Nomo like they treat David Hasselhoff in Germany. Hideo is a bona fide rock star in Seattle, but he might be just the third best Japanese player in this game.
Not if he keeps pitching like he has been. He, of course, had the no-hitter in Baltimore and the near no-no last Thursday at Fenway. In his 5 Sox starts, Nomo's given up only 11 hits in 30 innings, and he struck out 30. Wow. Look out, Suzuki and Sasaki. Nomo is on fire.
And Butch and I both speak fluent Japanese. That says dream match, I believe. Nomo at it again. Now, back in 1993, Hideo Nomo gave up Suzuki's first ever home run. Suzuki. Thank you. Not tonight,
Sasaki
though.
might
He
have hit one
grounds
off
out.
him, too. I don't know.
That's a churro right there. The phenom grounding out. And then Nomo striking out Stan Javier. He's got a no-hitter going. They're in the second inning. Sox up 1-0 now in the second.
All right, Red Sox on Fox is Friday night in Oakland, and then, of course, Saturday also. A's are playing the Jays tonight. They are tied with the Sox for first place at last check. No score in the third. Yankees and Twins trying to keep pace with both the Sox and Jays. Twinkies throwing some leather tonight. Joe Mays on the mound stabs one. Then Luis Rivas says, "We don't need no stinking knoblock." And then Doug Mientkiewicz, hard to say, easy to catch with plays like this. Shades of Ken Herbeck.
Oh, yeah.
And then Corey Kosky. Is that Gary Gaetti? Right now, Twins lead the Yanks 4-1. In this game, it's in the 8th inning right now, Chuck Knobloch had batteries thrown at him, and there was a delay.
Had to delay the game for 12 minutes. All right, it was an interesting night for the Martinez family yesterday. While Pedro was showing once again why he's the best pitcher on the planet, 2 of his siblings were having a hard time measuring up to their brother. Ramon got rocked by the Giants. He saw his ERA balloon over 8, so with 135 career wins, he shut it down and retired today.
Meanwhile, in upstate New York, Pedro's little brother Jesus still trying to get his career going. He pitched the final 3 innings against John Valentin in Trenton last night, gave up a home run in an 11-6 Trenton win. Valentin 1 for 5, but made 2 good defensive plays at short. Jesus used to be in the Sox organization.
All right, NBA playoffs tonight. Vince Carter had to play like a man, according to Charles Oakley, and boy, did he ever tonight. Pulled the Sox up, throws down the dunk right there. He had 17 in the first half, finished with 32. Chris Childs a big 3-ball here in the 4th. As the Raptors force a Game 5, they win it tonight 100-93.
Vince wasn't the only athlete whose manhood was being challenged. That's Jaromir Jagr sarcastically challenging his critics who called him a woman. Jagr played with that bad shoulder in Game 4 tonight, did not score, but did have an assist. 2-2 in the third when Stu Barnes stuffs one by. Sabres win 5-2. Series tied at 2. Game 5 Saturday in Buffalo, 1 o'clock.
Blast time. Now listen to me, everybody. If you have a big presentation tomorrow, a final exam, a job interview, or even a big date, here's what I suggest you do. No need to study or prepare or buy a new dress. Just do what NBA players do. Put on a headband. I showed you Vince Carter of the Raptors. He dusted his off tonight. So did the rest of his team. They're copying the Hornets, who found some hidden powers in theirs and swept Miami. Headbands are 4-0 in the playoffs. Look for me at a local Braintree convenience store tomorrow. I'll be the guy in the blue headband buying bundles of lottery tickets.
Besides being the best player in baseball, Pedro Martinez is great theater. In case you missed it, there was one of those classic moments in the 8th inning last night with Pedro and his boss. Red Sox lead 2-0, 2 outs, 2 on. Look at Pedro's face as he watches Jimmy come out to the mound. It's like, what do you want, man? Get back there.
Don't do it.
Keep in mind, Pedro's thrown 133 pitches at this point. He asked Veritek if he thinks he's got anything left. Pedro says, let me get Olerud. He does. Credit to both guys. And everything's groovy here. That's good stuff. Rolando Rojo got the save. Pedro's next start is Sunday.
All right, Bill Russell and Dan Duquette here for Sports Sunday this coming Sunday.
All right, we thank you, gentlemen. That's going to do it for Fox 25 News at 10. Thank you for making us part of your Wednesday night. I'm Tori Ryden.
And I am Steve Avison. The Simpsons is next. For Tori, Kevin, Butch, Tom, and the entire Fox 25 News team, thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow night. Till then, good night.